everybody, to our latest edition of the Bears Banter. Now, a couple of very special guests we have today. These guys, I think all that's going to happen by the end of this is that the rest of us are going to be jealous as hell, including myself, about the situation that our two men are going to talk us through. We've got with us Ben Thomas and Ben Marschke, both currently on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. They are supposedly isolating still in a Roosters bubble, away from the rest of the public. Obviously, they can play against other footy teams another day or two before they come out of that bubble, which means they'll be able to go to the beach, etc., and enjoy the terrible situation that they're in, and that is in a resort on the Sunshine Coast. So welcome, Ben Marschke and Ben Thomas. Good to have you guys.
Thanks, JT. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, mate.
All right, let's just talk about a bit about that situation. So it would be remiss of me if I didn't allow you to tell the story you already told, BT, and that's the morning ritual. So how did the day start today?
Yeah, so we've got a bit of a thing going on at the minute. Benny and Rad's about 7:30. They come over to my room because it gets the morning sun supposedly, and we sit there and get a bit of. It's pretty hot up here, so we get a bit of a tan on and enjoy a morning coffee in the morning. So we've sort of been doing that every morning so far before brekkie. So it's pretty fun. Chew the fat for a bit.
Tough way to start the day. Now, Benny, just on like the today and the personal things, I'll refer to Benny Marschke as Benny and BT as BT. Benny, can we have a quick look at your toe? You tell us that you just had an issue with your toe just now. Can you show us?
I've actually made me way outside so I didn't have to listen to BT's interview. And I've actually nudged my toe. There it is there. There it is.
There's some ugly feet.
That toe's ugly, but look at the other one. What's wrong with the other one's a problem as well?
Listen, don't worry about that.
He's got tinea.
Yeah, all right, that's enough. Yeah, and there's a bit of the view, hey? Looks like it's a tough situation you're in there, Benny.
Listen, JT, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, mate. It's pretty rough. It's pretty tough up here. It is honestly pretty tough.
Would that be the water that we can actually see?
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, it is. Which is a shame, you know. It is a shame.
Are you allowed to go to the beach at the moment?
Well, no, we're not just yet. They've actually got the resort all blocked off with fences. So, mate, I can smell it. I can smell the beach, the salt, but we actually can't see it just yet. So,
now listen, you mentioned the word salt. We'll touch on it really quickly. You guys, you're in a gang, right? And you got your shirts on. It's way over the top. Just give us a quick rundown of what the Salty Pigs are all about and who's part of it.
Listen, the Salty Pigs isn't a gang, JT. I'll pull you up there. It's more of a brotherhood. Just there's seven best mates. Started calling themselves the Salty Pigs, and it just sort of stayed around. And we started to make some T-shirts, make some clothing with the name Salty Pigs on them. So.
Right.
I wouldn't call it a gang, just some great mates having fun.
Listen, from what I've heard, it's clearly a gang. You refuse to let some good people in. It's like, is Jack Morris, has he been allowed in yet or not?
No, he'll never be allowed in.
He
just doesn't have what it takes. Doesn't have what it takes.
All right, let's get back onto it. So let's just talk a bit about the other teams. Like, are you guys staying in the same hotel as other teams? Which teams are they, and how often do you come in contact with them?
Yeah, we got 4 other teams here. I think it's Panthers, Newcastle, and Manly. And our team room's next to Newcastle, so we see a fair few of the Newey boys. But other than that, Penrith and Manly away over the other side. We don't really see too much of them.
Yeah, and it's Friday night game against Newcastle, right? So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. We're right next to each other, base right next to each other, but yeah, it should be good.
And Nath Kayla's been given the responsibility of working out what their game plan is, spying on their training or anything like that?
Yeah, I think he's been hiding in the bushes, eh? I caught him hiding in the bushes before. Don't know what he was doing, but he had the binoculars out there trying to have a little squeeze, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's talk a bit. Firstly, just about NRL debuts. Okay, so you guys. So just we'll talk a little bit about your past, but the background is, and the reason you guys are so chummy is that you played footy together a lot. You both played for the Roosters, albeit way back in, is it 2016?
Yeah.
And then you've come back together again this year at the Bears, and then both been given your NRL debut, which has been massive. So, Benny Marschke, tell us a little bit about that for you. Like, my favourite part of this whole story is that you started the season round 1 playing for the Hills Bulls in the Ron Massey Cup, and then it was it round 3 or 4, and you were playing in the Roosters NRL team?
Yeah, right, JT. I feel like me and Benny have had sort of a similar path. We met playing for the Roosters under-20s, and we had a few good years there playing together with all the boys, and then moved our separate ways. Went to a few other clubs in the last couple of years, and BT made his way over to North Sydney Bears, played for them, and me and Jesse sort of made our way back to the Bears, and like you said, we signed at the North Sydney Bears with not an NRL preseason at all, just a straight cup preseason, and really had no. I didn't have too many thoughts about playing NRL this year at all. Really, I thought if I play well, my goal was to play consistent cup for the full year, because last year got canned, so I was just really determined to play most of the season at cup, and then sort of started there at Ron Massey, didn't make it round 1, and then actually played Massey and then played cup the next day on the Sunday, and then a few weeks of cup, and then got the call up to come play for the Roosters. I wasn't training with the Roosters at the time, so it was a big shock when they actually called me in and said they needed me to come in and train. And I got named. I think it was on the Tuesday. I got named in the 21, and then trained a couple of days, and then they said they were going to give me a debut. So I was over the moon. I was so stoked. That whole probably month didn't even feel real. When I got named in the 21, it didn't feel real. I was so shocked. I went, surely they won't play. They're not going to play me. And then there was talks I might have a debut that week, and got the debut. So it was such a surreal feeling. It was so cool.
Did you just call it a debut?
What's that, sorry?
Did you just call it a debut as opposed to debut?
Debut. Sorry, I've got a bit of a slur.
The most illiterate person.
The boys will love that. All right, J Miles is going to love that. It's the debut. Good.
J Miles will never be a pig.
That's Jack Morris, right? That's Jack Morris as opposed to Josh Morris.
That's Jack Morris.
Awesome, Benny. Awesome. Now we'll come back, right? We'll come back to the actual footy itself, but let's talk to BT a bit about your experience. As you say, a bit similar, right? You were playing at the Wyong Roos Cup team. You were in Newcastle, and then you came back to the Bears in 2019. And let me say, from the minute you came here, your performances were just so good week after week, and that's through 3 years. 2019, 2020, you were miles ahead of our Players Player and Player of the Year award last year in the 2020 season, and then you continued it into this year. And you might have thought, I think you probably thought it wouldn't happen, but it did, and you got yourself an NRL debut, mate. How did it feel?
Yeah, you're right, JT. I didn't think it would happen. Sort of snuck up pretty quick, and as Benny said, I was pretty shocked. But I was over the moon. I was so stoked. Couldn't really believe it at first, but to get the opportunity, especially to play for a club like the Roosters, it was something pretty special. That is such a great club, and it got such a proud history. It's just an unreal experience. So I was similar. I was actually working on the Tuesday, and I was just packing up for the day on the tools. And Robbo rang me on the phone, and he said what my plans were for the rest of the week, and I sort of just said, just work. And he said if I wanted to come in and do some training for the rest of the week, and straight away I said yeah, I'd love to. And then got named that afternoon, and I ended up getting to play that weekend. So it just all happened. Yeah, it felt pretty surreal, but no, I couldn't believe it. I was so stoked.
You've got a boss who would be fairly understanding of that opportunity, BT. Who's your boss?
Yeah, my boss is Nigel Radley, Vic's dad. So he yeah, we had a little joke. He told Robbo that I wouldn't be sweet to leave work. Had a little giggle, but no, he's pretty sweet with that. He's real lenient, and he just said, "No, mate, go on, give it your best."
Absolutely. Now, look, I will say they've been a little bit opposite. In what I love is that you're both up there, right? So that's not just you got a debut and that was great, but you sort of moved on. You're both up there with the Roosters full-time squad, and you're training and you're getting yourself ready each week to play any game between now and the end of the year. So that's awesome. But they have been different as far as minutes go, right? BT, let's talk about yours a little bit. Some long stints on the bench there so far, which happens, right? That's all part of it. How have you found that?
Yeah, mine's been a bit different to Benny. I think I've only had like 10 or 15 minutes in a couple of games. So just but I'm pretty grateful for any opportunity that I get. And if I get out on the field, just go and play as hard as I can. And any minutes is just it's pretty unbelievable. So if I get any opportunity, just go make the most of it, no matter how many minutes.
Yeah. The volume just seems to be on a bit weird there, BT.
Is it sweet now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yep.
Benny Marschke, can you sit still, mate?
I was just trying to hint to him. He's in here. He's in there. I was trying to tell him what's the microphone.
Yeah, okay. Now, what about so Benny was the opposite in regards to the minutes he's played. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's talk about your first game, BT, right? I'm right in saying that the first game was the one against the Titans. And this guy, after a few minutes after you've come onto the field, this guy decides to get sin binned. And so you've got to play 10 minutes with only 12 men. How was that? Torture, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was, especially for my first game. Robbo came up to me after it and said, "Mate, you'll never forget that debut." Yeah, I sort of just got chucked in. It was like I was in the washing machine there. Everything was happening. Like, NRL is obviously a step up, and everything happens a lot faster. And then on top of that, having 12, it was even faster again. A few of the boys said, "Mate, it doesn't get much quicker than that." It was just 100 mile an hour. So yeah, they're definitely right. I won't forget that experience. It was just full on.
Yeah, it was. It just said to everybody that was such the right decision for you to be the one to have to handle that, BT. You couldn't have had so many things go against you in regards to that first few minutes. Like, everybody who plays in the NRL talks about the speed of the game. It's like twice as fast as a cup game. It's unbelievable. And then you had to do it with 12 men and on a hot day on the Gold Coast, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, it was pretty sunny up there as well. Nice Queensland weather, so it was pretty warm as well.
Benny Marschke's in the sheds having a drink while you're getting tortured.
I know, we're meant to be mates. He was a good stitch up from me, eh?
I got him a beauty, JT. I got him a beauty.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't be saying that if you didn't win that game. That was bloody scary at the end, I'll tell you.
Oh, mate, I'm not proud of that moment. I'm not proud of it.
Okay, well, life goes on. Now, let's talk about your minutes, right? Because not only did you get you to make a debut, you started playing 80 minutes. Like, you played a couple of games 80 minutes, or am I wrong there? But yeah, you played massive minutes in the middle of the field in the NRL on the back of of our New South Wales Cup pre-season training. It was quite remarkable, mate.
Yeah, you're right, Jason. I think my debut, I got 25 minutes maybe off the bench, and then got thrown into the deep end pretty quick with injuries and whatnot. So you know what, I was just trying to get through the game, make sure my service is good, tackle good. It was a pretty simple game plan for me. So fitness wise, I was just trying to hang in there. It was it was very quick, but you know what, like being in the defense with the Roosters, like you just feel so comfortable. Everyone does their job so well. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone's putting in. So really, you to put that effort in is just the norm. So I just had to keep up with the lads, and it was good. It's been good.
Now let's talk a little bit about this year with the Bears, BT.
Yep.
We want you back at some stage, provided we get going again, which we've all got our fingers crossed. But having another really good season yourself, and teams in a decent spot. How are you feeling about the remainder of the year?
Yeah, I was really excited. It's such a pity with all this COVID stuff that there's no New South Wales Cup at the minute. Hopefully it does come back, because I thought we were really at the start of the year we're building and we're winning a couple, losing one, trying to find some form, and there was a lot of people coming in and out of the side. But I think after we didn't have such a good game against West, and after that we've really been on the up. We're strung together. I think 3 or 4 really good wins in a row, and we're really building there. We could see our improvement each week. So I thought we'd definitely be up there and give the competition a good shake. Like we'd be up there contesting the premiership. So hopefully it does come back so we can really have a good shot at it, because I think the squad that we've got and the way that we're coached, I think we can win it for sure.
Well, that's good to hear, mate. And Benny, rest of the season for you, mate. Obviously, some quality guys have come back from injury, namely Sam Verrills, who over the last couple of years has put his own name on that starting number 9 jersey. So opportunity for you to play some footy off the bench between now and the end of the season with the Roosters. But if that doesn't happen, mate, we'll be very happy to have you back in a Bears jersey.
Yeah, like you said, JT, Semi's got that starting spot, and he's been doing a great job. And then there's a few other boys that can slide in there. So, mate, we're just up here training hard. Who knows, with the year we've had at the Roosters, anything could happen. You could be in there this weekend, you know what I mean? A game, a day before the game, So, mate, who knows? If I don't get a run, that's right. We'll just keep training hard. But, mate, I'd love for me to come back and play a game at the Bears. I'd love it.
Yeah, it'll be more than one, mate. I'm sure of it. Look, and I don't say that because I don't want you in that Roosters team. You keep fighting for that. That's how it works. We want you players aiming to be playing in the NRL, and when you don't, then you play your best footy with the Bears to show people that you should be in the NRL, and then we get good performances out of you. We love it. The pathways really work in there. You two guys have done such a great job. And as I say, the fact that you're sitting up on the Sunshine Coast, ready to play this weekend if you need it, it's a massive credit to you and really strong indication of what we're doing at the Bears and the way that we're helping to provide guys like yourselves. So thanks for the chat. All right, now we are all going to struggle knowing now that you're staying in resorts. In a couple of days, you're allowed to go to the beach whenever you want. And you've got to train hard as well. That's the only downside, is you might have to do a couple of tough training sessions. So enjoy it, boys. You've got a great opportunity there, but you're also got the sun shining on you, and it's a great spot to be. So congratulations. You're only there because you've earned it, though. You guys have put the work in, and you've deserved it. And enjoy the next few weeks. Look forward to seeing you back here at some stage.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, JT.
Thank you. Good to chat.
Thanks again. We'll catch you later.
See you, mate.
Thanks,
Bye.
JT. I'll see you.